The red string of fate is a superstition that originated from Chinese and Japanese legends. According to Chinese folklore, God ties an invisible red cord around the ankles of those who are destined to be with each other. However, in the Japanese version, the red string is tied around the pinky finger instead. No matter where the cord is bound, the invisible red string can stretch and tangle, but it can never be broken.
Grace, so how did you meet my brother? You said you will tell us.
Yeah, tell us.
Well, funnily enough, your brother and I were born in the same hospital, same month, and same year. We didn't know each other at all at this point, and didn't meet until we were in our early 20s. We even went to the same university and ended up in the same course. However, we didn't meet. Not yet. Different circumstances, different social groups, I guess. After we graduated, we still didn't know each other. Life took us on different paths. Jonathan tells me at the time he was doing well. He started working for a well-known film company who created short films and skits. On the other hand, I was the opposite. I was struggling to find a job. One day, at the festival, I met one of Jonathan's co-workers, Dylan. I thought to myself, I should ask about getting an internship at their company. After all that reasoning, I still chickened out and ran away after saying hi. A few months later, I ran into Jonathan at a park. I recognized his face from countless advertisements. I took a huge step and approached him. He was impressed with my courage, and somehow we exchanged emails. He promised that he would get back to me soon about getting an interview. From there, our friendship blossomed, and we started hanging out after work hours. I realized that I was becoming reliant on Jonathan's cool and trustworthy demeanor, and I guess he fell for me too. One day, after work, Jonathan took me to a romantic dinner and asked me to be his girlfriend, his one and only.
And what did you say?
Yes. However, all good things had to come to an end. We broke up several years later. Jonathan moved to another city to start over, while I stayed where I was, heartbroken. However, the upside of this was that we still stayed as friends and contacted each other once in a while. As life goes on, we both went into new relationships, but they never worked out. A part of me wished I could turn back time and be with him. Jonathan was married before this. He got married because it was his father's wish to see his beloved son get married before he died. Crystal was his current girlfriend at the time, so they got married, even though he wasn't in love with her. Even though Jonathan was married at that point, we frequently contacted each other through texts, calls, and social networks. When your brother couldn't find a job, he had enlisted to go to the army after getting married, and told me that I could get the address to send him letters from his wife, Crystal. However, instead of giving me the details, Crystal threatened me that if I tried to contact him again, she would make sure that they would move elsewhere so that I wouldn't know where they lived. She felt threatened by me. It was then that I realized that I couldn't compete with Crystal because he had chosen her, married her, and I thought that they were in love. One year later, I logged into my old Facebook after forgetting my password and found a friend request from Jonathan. I couldn't believe my eyes. I quickly accepted the request and found him online at that moment. It was the first time communicating with him since his wife had threatened me. We spent the next several weeks catching up and telling each other what had happened in our lives. As cheesy as it sounds, it felt as if we never lost contact. Turns out they had a divorce because Crystal had cheated on him with several other men and got pregnant while he was in the army. What was even better was that Jonathan had also moved back, meaning we could meet up again after several years. After a few months with each other, we gave our relationship another shot. We quickly realized that we couldn't live apart from each other, and we got engaged. Today, we are getting married, with the knowledge that the bond between us can stretch and tangle, but it can never be broken. Some call it the red string of fate.